Hi everybody, it's Melissa Lee. I'm trying a new camera setup today. New lighting, new camera. We'll see how this goes. I'm trying it out, trying to up my production value on my videos and look a little more professional as we move forward. I'm going to make this video a little more serious than I have other videos. There have been some things that have happened in the past week. It's given me food for thought, and I want to address it because it's really gotten a lot of things going around in my mind. And as someone who's pretty much at the beginning of her transition journey, I just want to be able to relate how I'm feeling, get some feedback by others who have already been down this road and who might have some advice from what their own experiences were. So please feel free to hit the like and subscribe buttons, comment down below. My other contact information, all the other platforms I'm on are there. So let's talk a little bit about the coming out challenge, as I call it. Now, I've shared recently my experiences with coming out to my in-laws, well, at least my sister-in-law, and I had an interesting experience this weekend where another person found out about me, and actually from a friend who already knew. And it didn't upset me because I had given permission for my sister-in-law to talk to these other people, and I don't mind. I'm coming out where I live, and most everyone is going to know, with a few exceptions. But we were out on Saturday night, and my friend Andrea wanted to go to a different pub than we normally go to get a drink before we headed over to our usual place, which in a way, in hindsight, I think that was quite unusual to just go somewhere, have one drink, and then go somewhere else where we normally would have just went straight there. No biggie. We went in. It's a nice little pub, nothing special. But we're sitting at the bar, and luckily the owner and the bartenders and everyone is totally treating us fine and friendly, and it was nice. And then all of a sudden, I hear a woman behind me go, "Melissa." And I turned around, and there was this woman who looked very familiar, but I was having trouble placing her because I'm terrible with faces and even worse with names. And she comes up and gives me a hug and go, "Hi, I recognized you when you walked through the door." And I'm going, "Okay, who are you?" And then all of a sudden her husband walks up behind her, and then it clicked that they are good friends of a mutual friend of my sister-in-law and I's. And that mutual friend knows. And they started talking to us, and like it was the most normal thing in the world. They were very sweet and happy, and before they left, they bought us a round of drinks. Now, I will never complain if anybody wants to buy drinks. And yet at the same time, I was left stunned because people that I did not expect came up to me, approached me. I don't know, it was surreal. And at the time, I didn't know how they knew. I finally reached out to our mutual friend who confirmed that yes, he had told them because they were asking about me, well, the other me, because they know what I've gone through in the last couple of years. They were asking how I was doing, and he decided to tell them because he knew that they would be accepting. And they were. It was a great experience, and I couldn't ask for anything better. And so far, my experiences have been very positive. However, I've been waiting for the other shoe to drop and having a negative experience. And I know one day it will come because there's a few other people I need to talk to. Not many, but most everybody I've talked to is totally fine with who I am. Now, I have another friend of mine, who I'm not going to name, who was in a similar situation that I was in with my sister-in-law. I've been wanting to talk to my sister-in-law for months and didn't really have the courage yet on approaching her because I didn't think she would accept it. But then I eventually got the courage one day, it kicked in like somebody flipped a switch, and I reached out and let her know, and it all worked out, and it was great. And then we also went out a couple weeks ago, which was fun. Well, this friend of mine was in a similar situation because they had a very good friend that they've known for a very long time. and they always hang out and they get together once every month or so for a lunch or dinner. This friend has been wanting to tell her friend for a long time about who she is. She has been a little reluctant and a little scared too. The last couple times they got together, she didn't bring it up. So this time, she got brave enough and told him, because they met earlier this week for breakfast. It did not go well. In fact, her friend's reaction is exactly to the T the reaction I was expecting from my sister-in-law. When she told him, they were shocked. They said they need to process this. They were shown pictures. I was in a few of those pictures. It's just started to go downhill from there, to the point now where it seems like their relationship may be permanently damaged. I don't know. But it's obvious that this friend did not want anything to do with it, didn't accept it, doesn't want to see it in the future. That brings up a question. If you deal with somebody like that you come out to, and if they don't just outright reject you and throw a fit or get all hysterical or whatnot, but if they are obviously uncomfortable with it, they're going to either be in denial or they're going to back away from you. How do you proceed? And this is something I've been kicking around and talking to some other people about. Do you sacrifice who you are to make the other person comfortable? My answer is no. My friend's answer is no. Because then we're not being true to ourselves. And then we're back to lying or being in denial like we were for years. I know for me, a very long time in denial. And now that I've reached this point in my life and at my age, I don't want to hide from anyone. And if they don't like it, they don't have to be around me. But if I'm going to be me, I'm socially transitioning. And that means I'm going out and I'm going to regular places, not just specialized events for girls in our community. I'll still go to those occasionally, but I don't find them as satisfying as I do just regularly going out. And it's like going to that bar I've never been to before. There was another bar I went to on Sunday. Yes, I know it sounds like I do bars all the time, but we like going, sitting, having a drink, and there was a band playing with friends of ours who were in the band invited us. You just, again, you put your life on hold for other people so that they're not comfortable. This applies to my own situation that I have with my family that lives across the country. I only see maybe once a year. And I think I've mentioned it here before that I wasn't planning on telling them, and them being my mother, and then there's my older brother and his wife. My mother's going to be 88 this year. She has trouble handling a lot of things, and I figured because of her age and everything going on, she doesn't need to know. My medical transition is going to take a couple of years, so who knows if she'll still be around or how things will be at that time. I'll deal with it later down the road. My mother called me yesterday and told me that my brother was a little upset with me because he felt like I was avoiding him and not calling or texting him much. And then when we would get on the phone, that I was like brisk with him and like I couldn't wait to get off. Totally untrue. I don't know what if he did say that, which my mother has a tendency to embellish. If he did say that, I'm shocked because that's not the case. He and I have always talked at least once a month or more, especially in the last few years when our other brother passed away and my wife passed away. We talked more. At the same time, the last 2 times I've gone out there to visit, my brother and his wife kept talking about their political beliefs. And I really don't care which side people want to be on, or if you're in the middle or whatnot. That's up to each individual person. I'm not going to rag on somebody because they may feel different from me. I mean, we used to be more civil about these kind of things before we all went crazy. But being at my brother's house for a couple of days each, I swear to God, all I heard the entire time I was there was anti-trans rhetoric. We're all perverts, potential child molesters or rapists. We shouldn't be allowed in women's bathrooms. We're all mentally ill. And I'm sitting there 5 feet away listening to all this. And it really irked the crap out of me. In fact, I was a little upset, but I was trying to hide it because I had only just come out a few months before, so they had no idea. So now I'm supposed to go out and visit them at the end of September. It's my annual visit. And I'm wondering how I want to handle it now, because the last 2 times I had to listen to this crap and keep my mouth shut. And I'm getting to the point where I don't want to keep my mouth shut anymore. And I want to tell them, oh, by the way, guess what? I'm mentally ill. Watch their jaws drop. But I know if I do, the defecation will impact the rotary oscillator. Because I mentioned in the past, my brother found out about 23 years ago when I was experimenting with just cross-dressing. I had not come to the realization I was trans yet. He found out about it, and we had a major falling out over it. And the only thing that moved us past that was time. And when it was obvious that I had given it up, I just got with my wife, and she made it clear she didn't want that to be a part of the marriage. And I was in a state of denial myself, so I put it away. I even convinced myself for all those years that I was over it. Now that it's obvious that I'm not over it, and I'm back with a vengeance, and I know what I want in life, how do I handle this moving forward? It could be one of those things where I don't say anything. I only see them once a year. Just not say anything because I'm socially transitioning right now, but I haven't started HRT or medically transitioning, so they're not noticing. Eventually there will come a day when they will notice, and I could wait for the fallout then. At the same time, I don't want to sit there and listen to their bullshit. My brother and I, we've always been, I wouldn't say estranged, we just never fully clicked. Well, we don't hate each other or anything, but it's just, we're not that close either. And now that he's with his current wife, who is even more political than he is, I don't know, I just see major fallout if they find out now. I don't want it getting back to my mother, because my mother is, well, my mother. And again, she's old, and I don't know if I want her to know, because she's already dealing with so much in her life that I'm afraid would send her over the edge. She would not be able to handle it. And I don't want to do anything out of spite or take the road of, well, this is my life and you have to accept me how I am, blah, blah, blah. I know a lot of people say that and they do that. Yet, I do take other people into consideration, my family into consideration, my mother especially, because at her age and how much time she has left, does she need to deal with that? She already lost one son 8 years ago to a heart attack. Even my older brother is going through some major health issues right now. I don't know what's going to happen with him. I might be the only one left, and that scares me. So I don't know how to handle moving forward. I'm still processing. I'm still thinking about it. And I guess I'm going to have to wait and see when I get there. On the plus side, I'm not spending the night where he lives. There's no room, and so I can go and visit, and then I can leave, especially if things get a little iffy. But then let's just say that it comes out. Maybe they just push one too many buttons, and I've just had enough of their crap, and I just throw it out there. And we have a big falling out. I know my older brother will not want my mother to know. He made that clear years ago. But I also know that my mother will pick up instantly that we're not talking. And then she'll be all upset and try to pry and want to know why we're not talking or what the problem is. And she's one of these woe is me types that takes the weight of the world on her shoulders. So it's a difficult situation. I mean, what's the right thing to do? I don't know. I'm going to have to play it by ear. I'm going to have to sit with it. I have a month, so we'll see what happens. And the same thing goes with my local life here. I am getting out. I'm socially transitioning. I'm going out as me more and more often now, especially on the weekends. When I'm out and having fun, I'm me. And of course, it's better for my mental well-being. because when I'm not me, I'm depressed and the gender dysphoria kicks in big time. Something else I'm dealing with right now is I'm not happy with some things medically. I'm struggling with my weight right now. I'm trying to get it off, and it's a challenge. Partly it has to do with where I live and how I'm able to prepare meals and whatnot, and partly because I've just been eating bad and drinking a little too much when I go out. Not getting drunk by any means, but it's still calories and it builds up. So I'm not happy with my body, I'm not happy with my looks, and it bothers me that I am 60 years old. I'm not ashamed to admit it. My age is starting to catch up with me. I'm noticing things. And it also bothers me that even if I start hormone replacement therapy in the next few months, which I'm hoping to, it's going to take a couple of years to see a lot of difference. But even then, I can't expect too much. I talk to too many other trans women, and especially those who have transitioned later in life. The results are only so much. Your bone structure will not change. You're stuck with it. And you might get some redistribution of fat, but don't expect big hips and butt and big boobs. I mean, it's just sometimes the body will work with the hormones and sometimes they won't. I talked about this herbal supplement that I have been taking, the Pureria Mirifica, and how wonderful it's been working with me. In fact, I've been surprised that it's working with me so well. Well, I kind of found out why, because I had some blood work done recently, and something that I had suspected, because my brother is suffering from low testosterone. I've suspected for a very long time now, years actually, that my testosterone levels might also be low. That's possibly genetic, something that runs in our family. So I went to a doctor last month, had blood work done, took a long time to get the results back, but the doctor finally called me, and I guess normal T levels are anywhere between 400 to 800, or they can even go up to 1200 in the normal range. My level's 32. That is really, really low. But it explains a lot. It explains why, if I've had this all my life and nobody's caught it until now, why I still have some feminine features, no Adam's apple to speak of. I still have the broader shoulders. I inherited those from my dad, and my skin is softer. And the herbal supplement worked way better than I thought it would. Well, that's because I'm not producing enough testosterone to limit it. In fact, I found out that with low testosterone levels, your natural estrogen levels can rise. And that might be why things are working so good. I don't know. The doctor I was going to kind of irritated me, and I may not go back to them because they wouldn't even talk to me about treatment. They just called me over the phone, said, here's your results. And I had to make her email them to me. You know, this is kind of a big deal for me. Now, some people tell me, oh yes, you need to go in and get on testosterone right away and it'll solve a bunch of problems, whatever. And I'm like, I don't want to. I don't want to because, you know, if I'm going to start HRT and blockers anyway, I'll deal with the other issues for now. So I don't know. I'll wait and see where that goes. It's just a very weird time for me right now with all of this going on. I mean, everything has been really good in so many different ways and going out, and I haven't had really any bad experiences. Everything's been very positive. And yet with what happened to my friend is the reminder that there could be negative experiences, you know, whether with it's a stranger, a friend. I do have one more friend that I haven't told yet, and I'm debating if I should tell them now or just wait, because I honestly have no idea how they would react. And then my family, of course. So these are the things that we think about. The last thing I want to touch on is the fact about, and I don't get political in my stream, I just don't. But I will address the fact of people who are arguing against our existence. and the definition of woman and all that. And while I agree on the biological side, I'm never going to be a woman. I don't claim to be a woman, and I'm a trans woman. And until I start doing some hormones and therapy, maybe one day I could consider myself a transsexual woman, but I'm not there yet. But biologically, I'm male. I accept that. That's just the way it is. XY chromosomes. I don't argue with that at all. With all the political stuff going on and what people accuse us of, and then I get irritated with the more extreme elements of our own community pushing things, and people actually, like this one guy right now pretending to be trans to get notoriety, which he's not. The Dylan Mulvaney's of the world, who I can't stand. The Jeffrey Marshes, who are, in my opinion, groomers, but they're making us all look bad. And so when I do come out to people, I got to talk to them about that, because they don't understand. They don't know this community, and they don't fully understand what being trans is. So I have to explain it. And right away, the first question is like, are you gay? No, I'm not. I kind of wish I was. It would make this a whole lot easier. So I'm just kind of in this limbo right now. I don't know. The other thing is, I just want to blend into society. I'm not trying to make waves. I'm not an activist. I am just wanting to go out and be me and blend in. And if nobody pays any attention to me, that's fine. One thing I tell people, the ones who try to say this is a choice. Bullshit. No, it's not a choice. Tell a gay person it's a choice and see how they react. It's not the same, and it is, because I was born this way. I felt this way all my life since I was the littlest kid. I think it was, at least I can remember it, up to 6 years old. They try to tell you, well, God doesn't make mistakes. No, he doesn't, if you believe in God. But no, he doesn't make mistakes, because he made me exactly the way I am. Would I go out of my way to choose this for myself as just a lifestyle choice? Hell no. I wouldn't wish this on anybody. It's freaking hard. It's confusing. It's caused me no amount of issues throughout my life. And even though I'm happier now with who I am, although I've got a lot of work to do, I wouldn't ever choose this life if this wasn't who I was. Life would be so much easier if I were just straight male, regular guy, trying to move on with my life. So much easier. But nope, I've got this. And this is who I am. And I've accepted who I am, and I'm moving forward. So, no, don't ever tell me this is a choice. Anyone who does, I'm going to laugh in their face. That's kind of the reaction I'm expecting from my brother coming out to him, along with some other things. So, I want to live my life. I want to move forward. I want to make the best of this that I can. I'm frustrated that I'm starting so late in life, but that's just the way it is. So again, I'll do with it the best that I can. So anyway, that was a much more serious video than I've done in a while. But I wanted to share that all with you because I am sharing my journey as I go, and I'm always happy to receive feedback from people. Even the negative comments, and people try to troll me or bash me, fine, whatever, doesn't bother me one bit. I'm used to it. But if I can help some other people maybe in the same situation, or we can spark a dialogue, I'm happy with that. So far I've made one really good friend here doing these videos who reached out to me, and we've been talking, and it's been wonderful. Very thoughtful, deep conversations. Laura, you know who you are. I'll see how things go. So that's it for now. I just wanted to bring you all up to speed. Going into the holiday weekend, I have no plans. I'll figure something out, probably do our normal thing. In any case, you all have a wonderful holiday weekend. Take care, and I will talk with you all soon. Be good humans. Bye-bye.